terms of Liverpool then, he says everyone's fit. He said in the press conference that everyone's available. Curtis Jones is in the squad.
Curtis Jones is back in the fray, I think.
In the fray. The question was about the fray, and he was like, "What's that?" I think he quite enjoyed learning a new phrase. So Curtis Jones is back in the fray, but you'd be surprised to see it start. He talked about Isak being a bit sore after his exploits.
Sorer than he's ever been, apparently.
Yeah, which is quite something. But then he also said that he was sharper than what he expected. So, I mean, he's got an embarrassment of riches almost to choose from, hasn't he? He can do whatever he likes.
He has. I can't see Isak starting. That would seem mad. I think he's a late sub for this one. He already said he couldn't get 245s in a row, but I wasn't expecting him to come out for the second half the other night. Yeah. So young, and still look.
I think almost the fact that he did come out for the second half suggests he's. I mean, it took him about half time, and I felt like he was more likely to start this one. The fact that he kept him on suggests that he'd already decided in his mind he was going to.
It was the comment he made after the game where he says he was really surprised about how fit he was, and then referenced signing a 21-year-old from Europe compared to signing a 26-year-old who's played in the Premier League. And then he said at the end, don't expect him to play the full 90 on Saturday. So when he said that on Wednesday night, I was like, don't expect him to play the full 90.
Might get a cheeky 70.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, well, he knows he's the best striker in the world. You might put him in and try and get the job done, but after reading the comments today, it's obviously he got in on Thursday morning and he's walking gingerly around the accent. He's gone, you're not starting on Saturday, mate. So I've changed my mind on that. I think it'll be Ekatike, but what an option to come off the bench once you give Everton to run around for an hour. And then you see him walk.
Tire the centre backs. You know, Tarkowski and Keane are having a good season, but you can tire them out. Yeah. And if they've had 70 minutes of dealing with Ekatike's movements, then Isak comes on. That's got to send your head west somewhere, hasn't it?
I also think Ingham a real option off the bench. Neil's before talked about O'Brien playing at right back. I remember last year on one of these shows, whoever was on the show with me, we were all licking our lips about O'Brien, this big lump playing right back. Oh, Diaz is going to do this thing, but he actually played really well in the game, and we weren't able to get to him. I don't see Gakpo necessarily having the style of game to cause him loads of problems, but imagine if you're O'Brien, you've got 70 minutes of Gakpo, and then suddenly this kid comes on, he's with all the tricks that he's got, the speed. I would love to see him unleashed in this one.
I think Slot's sort of changed the way he's looking at Ingham. I mean, me and he had a conversation after the Community Shield where there's about 10 minutes left in the Community Shield at Wembley, and he doesn't put Chiesa on and he doesn't put Ingham on when there's no points at stake. I was thinking, well, he's not going to feature much this year, them two. And then all of a sudden, he's now, when he brought him on the other night, I was a little bit surprised at that. I thought, wow, he's given him a lot of game time at the minute. And obviously
20 minutes against Athletic.
Exactly, but he's earned it. I mean, he's come on.
It's a massive show of faith.
He's come on and scored the winner. And when he's come on at Burnley the other day, he was bright, really bright. So I think he's probably now becoming an actual option. Yeah. He sees him as an actual. He's got to, really, because the window's shut, but
he also mentions him today. Yeah. He mentions him in like he's just another first team squad member today, which I think is important. Yeah. I think in a way, maybe the derby does come a little bit too early for him because, it's difficult to work out precisely what proper league game he starts. It might be all the way into November, but he's probably going to start Tuesday. So there's no sort of throw of the dice for me on this one. I'd be surprised if, but that said, imagine how excited we'd all be if the team sheet drops and he's picked Rio left wing.
Yeah.
Genuinely, we'd all be absolutely like, all right.
Tarkowski, like to James, all the best, lad.
Yeah, you're in for one here. Big 60 minutes for you here. Yeah, genuinely, I think, if that did happen, I don't think it will. But if it did, we would all be going, oh, he must have something in mind here if he's chosen to do that. But I don't think he will or anything like that.
In fact, it's possible now, though.
Well, but it feels possible. He mentions them today. I think with Southampton on Tuesday, you've got to expect he starts against Southampton. So I would have thought it will be Gakpo, but yeah. It does feel as though there's a trajectory towards the first proper start, i.e. a league or a Champions League game for Rio. That has got to happen before Christmas.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But a real option of this. Right back to the interesting one to me. Well, there's interesting ones all over the pitch. There's interesting decisions to make in midfield. Exactly. But right back, he's probably you'd be shocked to see Szoboszlai, I think, in this one. It feels like it is between a right back. I mean, I think it's probably between Bradley and Frimpong.
I'd just like to see how good he was at right back, by the way. I think I was so surprised about Szoboszlai defensively. He was coming in, affecting the attack. Anyway, I don't think he'll play at right back. I think he'll play Frimpong, based on the fact that Bradley has had a lot of injuries, and putting him in his first start back from an injury in a derby game might just be a little bit foolish when you've got a League Cup game to give him 60
And as Neil
minutes
said
on
about
Tuesday.
pushing them back, Frimpong is perfect. Well, Bradley's perfect for pushing them back as well, isn't he? He spent so much time on the pitch.
But Frimpong was brilliant the other night, I thought.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I mean, it seems that everyone on the pitch had some moments we can talk about the other night, but defensively, Frimpong was fantastic, so I'm happy to see him start. The problem is, Szoboszlai's got to be on the pitch for me.
Yeah.
Based on how he's played this season, he's probably been our best player so far. I'd hold McAllister back, based on the fact that he, they might get physical Everton tomorrow, and again, coming back from an injury. And he's not been, at his fittest this season so far, McAllister, so we could look again at Tuesday to get him some more minutes and get the clock up on him. So I'll go with Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and Wirtz in midfield.
Yeah, completely the same. I mean, I'm tempted by Bradley at right back because of what he did to Kylian Mbappe. So it's, I think he's perfect to counter Grealish there.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good shout, and I think he'd play very well. But based on Wednesday, I think I'd be leaning towards Frimpong.
But a joy that we can have that conversation between two right backs.
Squad's amazing, isn't it?
Squad's amazing. Yeah.